To the amendment, Mr. Speaker, agriculture is a noble profession, a noble endeavor, and now's not the time to be diminishing agriculture in any way, shape, or form. The late Bob Christensen would say to me that food production is a noble enterprise. It was a powerful statement coming from a farmer who produces food and directly and indirectly created wealth and jobs, not only for himself, but for thousands and thousands of people. Everybody, and I mean everybody, depends on agriculture. There's not a person, not a business, not a government who can survive without the American farmer, without agriculture. The brave men and women who defend our country, they need nourishment. The wonderful people who educate our children, they need nourishment. The caring people who tend to the sick, they cannot do the great work that they do without nourishment for their bodies. During the recession, agriculture. During these difficult times, it was agriculture. That was the one shining star, the one bright spot in our economy. 1 in 5 jobs here in Minnesota are ag-related, and never has there been more opportunity in agriculture as there is today. I had a wonderful opportunity to go to the University of Minnesota and speak to the animal science class. There's about 400 students. And I looked around the room and I asked them what they were interested in professionally. And there was some people there that were interested in research, some veterinarians, some marketing. And then I asked how many people are interested in production ag. And there was a handful of students up on the top left corner, about 20 kids. And I said, you should be extremely proud of who you are and what you do, because the rest of the students in this room, they would not have an opportunity if it wasn't for you. They should be proud of who they are and what they do. Production agriculture, again, be proud of it. It's a noble profession. Mr. Speaker, you stated, we're here to stand up for what we believe in, right? And like I said before, now is not the time to diminish the role of agriculture. And this is the basis of my amendment. People are getting so far away from the farm. They don't understand where food production comes from. They don't understand where their food comes from. And never in the history of mankind has it been so difficult to try to feed people. Why? Because it's so easy for people to demonize agriculture, demonize the hardworking men and women that produce the food for each and every one of us. Unfortunately, there's many times where the media will show contempt towards agriculture as well. And that's a shame. We should not be demonizing agriculture in any way, shape, or form. Technological farming is sustainable. It was Bill Gates that said when farmers increase their productivity, nutrition is improved and hunger and poverty are reduced. Highly productive food production can help end world hunger, lower food costs, and safeguard our natural resources. Case in point, you go back to a study that was done, and they compared from 2007 to 1977 a pound of beef, to produce a pound of beef, 14% less water used, 34% less land, 20% less manure generated, and 18% less carbon footprint. Let's do dairy, producing a gallon of milk. Let's go back to 1944. 65% less water use, 90% less land, 76% less manure, and 63% reduction in carbon footprint. Same in pork, 78% less land, 41% less water, 35% reduction in carbon footprint. You take a look at environmental practices that we have done. Southwest Minnesota, go back 10 years, 153,259 tons of soil loss reduction, 59,378 tons of sediment reduction, 241,000 tons of phosphorus reduction. Mr. Speaker, farmers are environmentally sound. We do care about the environment. And like I said in closing, now is not the time to diminish the role of agriculture. And rural members, this is your one shot. And I know I spoke to my friends on the other side of the aisle as well. And I know I have support on this. And I'm not going to call you out by name. I won't do it. However, I do encourage you to stand up and support me on this. I know some of you said that you're concerned about going against your leadership. Take it from me. 2008, I went against my party. I went against the governor. I broke from our party, and I voted to override the governor's veto. Why did I do that? Because I was representing my constituents, the very people that sent me up here to support them. So I encourage you to join with me and support this. I'm Rod Hamilton. I'm a pork producer, and I'm extremely proud of it. Mr. Speaker, I anxiously await the questions, and I will yield. Thank you.